Hey Nate, I just figured I'd put a little video clip together for your questions. You're talking about, let me review this real fast here. Working on staying connected, watching my shoulder plane. I was very steep with the shoulders, kind of a mix between 1 and 2 plane across the line at the top. And then, concentrating on keeping my left arm on plane with my shoulders. So, which is, 1 plane. And then working and getting the shaft in line with my left arm impact, which is an impact condition. And I'm not really sure how to properly lead with the hands and downswing. Okay. So, first off, you bought the Tour Striker. Thank you very much for your purchase. I think it's going to really help you. Obviously with this club, it really, really wants you to learn how to hit it with forward shaft lean. That said, you can't overdo it. I mean, let's face it, you can overdo anything. So, to get going on this and get the quickest path to success, what I want you to do is to understand that here's an impact condition. When this shaft is in alignment with this left arm, I think you know that already. So I'll assume that, here's a golf club cocking and uncocking. All right, that's an up and down motion. Here's a rotation of the left forearm. So what I want you to do, just to get started, is I don't really want you thinking about 1 plane swing, 2 plane swing, because I'll address that really quickly. All right, so 1 plane swing. People that turn their left arm onto their shoulder plane. I mean, if you're tipped over significantly, your shoulders are going to turn fairly steep and your left arm is going to match up with that plane. If you are more, let's say, orthodox, like most good players, they don't have necessarily 1 plane swing. Their swing, based on their anatomy, the left arm might swings above the turned shoulder plane. So it really just depends on how you want to set up. I mean, a lot of the tour players that have gone to the 1 plane swing are basically guys that were just fighting hooks, that were fighting, into out path, traditional good player problems. So by tipping them over, it's pretty tough to, you go too far inside out. So I mean, there's some benefits to it, but generally I don't try to get one person either go 1 plane or 2 plane, because I don't really think it matters. I think if you learn the golf swing impact backwards, you're going to be a pretty darn good player. I mean, short game, pitch shots, onto full swings. We just have to learn how to get this tool to do the right thing. An impact condition. I'm in my kitchen here, so I don't have a whole lot of room, but, there's an impact condition. If I can just learn how to take and maintain that and have gentle pivots and watch the ball compress off this face. So if I did it, knee high right here, there's my impact condition. I don't play the ball back. I'm not trying to punch out from underneath the trees. Everything is played a couple of inches to the right of a low point, which will be somewhere underneath the left shoulder socket. Sure, the left shoulder socket's moving, but low points generally in front of your left toe, under your left shoulder socket, somewhere there. So we want to play all ball positions a couple inches to the right of that, okay? And what makes ball position look like it's back or forward is really where your right foot is. So the farther your right foot goes to the right, the more the ball looks like it's really kind of forward. So for you to learn the quickest, let's get your feet nice and narrow. Let's get your golf ball that feels forward, but just left of your left shoulder joint. So it's somewhere kind of, if you look down off the instep of your left foot, and this is where you're going to learn how to hit some pivot pitch shots and punch shots. And these are going to go low and far because there's not a whole lot of loft in this thing. It's got 36 degrees of loft. So when you take it from a mid-body hands where it's at 36 degrees and you put it in impact, you reduce that 36 degrees 6 to 8 degrees, okay? So you're going to hit, chest-high bullets that go 60 yards. So get used to that. That's okay, and that's what this club should do, all right? So again, impact condition. Cock it and uncock it just to feel what that is. And you see how that right wrist, even though it's uncocking, it still stays relatively bent. There's the top of your backswing right there, even though I'm not in my backswing, but that's the top of your backswing position. And the left wrist cannot cock more than 90 degrees. Okay, so here's a little Sergio Garcia lesson on cocking and uncocking. So there's 90 degrees. As I start to tip this and turn this a little bit, this looks like it's far more acute to you than just 90 degrees. The more I tip it away from you, the more acute it looks. The reality is it's still 90 degrees, so that's just an illusion that people need to get over. Nobody's got rubber wrists. I mean, the wrist bone does what the wrist bone does. So anyway, back to what you're going to learn, how to have good impact conditions. really small steps. Shaft in line with the left arm, and pivot. Pivot's just this motion, okay? We're going to learn how to leave the hands here in impact, and we're going to pivot. And we're going to learn, and when we do this pivot, in our mind we're going to think of this elevated leading edge staying close to the ground. So if you're going to do anything, you're going to do the old Hogan feel and let the left wrist go from flat to maybe a little bit bowed even, just because you're trying to learn it, okay? That's the first step. Let the ball rock it knee high and go 50 yards, because that's what it should do. It won't go high because this club doesn't have a whole lot of loft on it. So that little motion, shaft up the left arm, little pivot, this kind of move right here, not, club head doesn't ever go down the line, it always goes on plane around us. So that's what it's going to look like down the line. Now, leave it in impact, and let's go ahead and allow the left wrist to hinge, to cock. There's the cocking motion. So if you want to hit a little longer shots, as you pivot back, this impact, preset impact condition, cocks up. Uncocks as you pivot, and leave it uncocked. So in the face on, here's your impact condition, leading edge to the ground. There's cocking and uncocking. So as I pivot, it cocks up. It doesn't rotate much, okay? Just kind of cocks up, uncocks, and we pivot. So get started with that. Hit a few balls like that. You'll make bigger swings, obviously, because nobody cannot try to hit it farther. But where we go from impact, learning how to chip and pitch, so we're going to go from this relationship, where we don't hit full shots from, to mid-body hands. Now, I didn't change my hands to go to mid-body hands. I just widened my stance and let the shaft point more toward my belly button. Most good players play from here, okay? Now from here, the first move really kind of gets us in an impact condition. And like I said, I don't care where your left arm goes, all right? It's kind of based on how much tip you want to have. I'm not a big one-plane, like I said, two-plane guy. It doesn't really matter to me. I just want impact to be sound right there. So check out the video. And do me a favor, go to my website and go in that questions part and post questions right there so other people can, I'll answer back there, and you can probably post this video. So I want other people to understand what you're dealing with too. But Nate, thank you very much for buying the Tour Striker, and good luck. We're going to get much better together.